Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Nishti. Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, chapter 9, answers by citing the Lord's version. Takes 10. Pravartate Yatra Rajas Tamas Tayo Sattvam Cha Mishram Na Cha Kala Vikramaha Na Yatra Maya Kimuto Pare Kim Utapare Hare Anubrata Yatra Suro Asura Arjita. Pravartate Yatra Rajastamustayo Sattvam cha Mishram na cha Kala Vikrama Nayatra Maya Kimuta Pare Hare Anubrata Yatra Sura Rachita Pravartate Yatra Rajastamastayo Satyam cha Mishram cha Sattam cha Mishram na cha Kala Nayatra Maya Kimuta Pare Hare Anubrata Yatra Sura Pravartate Yatra Rajastamastayo Svatvam cha Mishram na cha Kala Vikrama Nayatra Maya Kimuta Pare Hare Anubrata Yatra Sura Rachita Pravartate prevail Yatra wherein Rajaha Tamaha the modes of passion and ignorance Tayo of both of them Sattvam the mode of goodness Cha and Mishram mixture Na never Cha and Kala time Vikramaha influence Na neither Yatra therein Maya illusory external energy Kim what Uta there is operate others Hare of the personality of Godhead Anubrataha devotees Yatra wherein Sura by the demigod Asura and the demon Architaha worship. Translation by His Divine Grace of God. In that personal abode of the Lord, the material modes of ignorance and passion do not prevail. nor is there any of their influence and goodness. There is no predominance of the influence of time, so what to speak of the illusory external energy? It cannot enter that region. Without discrimination, both the demigods and the demons worship the Lord as devotees. Does it keep them How many of you are trying to memorize the verses according to your system or key? Every day you're trying to memorize? It works? Does it work? You're trying? You memorized yesterday's words? College, what you say? Why did you just memorize day before yesterday? Yesterday you didn't memorize? Why? Who memorized yesterday?
तस्मै स्वलोकं भगवान् समाहितः तस्मै स्वलोकं भगवान् सभाजितः संदर्शयामास
Remember it?
We tried.
You see, now you can see, like the first word of the first line.
Yeah.
The first word of the line, if you sandarshana, then
sandarshayamasa param nayat param vyapeta sanklesha vimoha sadhvasam Swadrishtavadhirpurushair abhishtutam.
Good. Is it worth giving a try? Okay, let's try this one. What is the first word of the first line? So, okay, Kamana, you say the first line. The next line. Then the third line. Maya.
रजत्र माया उता परे किमुता परे हरे
रजत्र माया किमुता परे हरे रजत्र माया किमुता परे हरे रजत्र माया किमुता परे हरे
अनुव्रता जत्र सुरासुरार्चितः
So, is it? So now the next thing is, as I said, like, try to memorize, try to understand, try to remember the word for word meaning, that helps. Pravartate means prevail. Yatra, wherein. Rajas, Tamo, Rajas and Tamo, Rajagun and Tamo. The passion, mode of ignorance, Tayo, both of them. Then, Satyam means goodness, Cha, and Mishram, mixture, Cha. Na means na, never, Cha, and Kala Vikrama. Kal means time and Vikrama means influence. So Kala Vikrama means influence of time. Then Na again means not or neither. And Yatra means wherein Maya, illusory external energy, Kim, what, Uta, there is, Apare, others, Hare, the personality of Godhead, Anuprata, devotees, Yatra, wherein, Sura, by the demons, Asura, demons, and Sura, Archita means worship. So, the meaning is, Najatra, the pravartate jatra rajastamastayo. Sattam cha mishram na cha kala vikrama najatra maya kimuta pare hare anuprata jatra sura. In that personal abode of the Lord, the spiritual world, the material modes of ignorance and passion do not prevail. Nor is there any of their influence in goodness. There is no predominance of the influence of time. So what to speak of the illusory external energy? It cannot enter that region. Without discrimination, both the demigods and the demons worship the Lord as devotees. So, first word of the first line, how many of you? And without looking at the board, how many of you can remember? Okay, Shuchandra. Second word, then the first word of the second line. Okay, Mr. Kunda.
Satyam cha misram na cha kala vikramaha.
Satyam cha misram na cha kala vikramaha. Satyam cha misram na cha kala vikramaha. Satyam cha misram na cha kala vikramaha.
First word of the third line. Krishna.
Nayatra maya kimuta pare hare.
Nayatra maya kimuta pare hare.
अनुव्रता यत्र सुरसुरर्चिता
अनुव्रता यत्र सुरासुरार्चिता अनुव्रता यत्र सुरासुरार्चिता अनुव्रता यत्र सुरासुरार्चिता.
Very good. Does it make it easy? No. Makes it easy. The guard was also memorizing. Just call the guy.
Haribol.
ये तो बैठ क्लास सुनना है हाँ बैठ तुम भी याद कर लिया हाँ very good. So and then the fourth principle, fourth step. First one is actually understand the verse. Then second is repetition. Third is remembering the first word of the first line, the first word of each line. And the fourth is writing it down on a piece of paper and try to memorize it, try to repeat it from time to time, and if you can't, then you just see it, just check it. That way, if you keep trying, then you will see that how easily you can memorize it, and also you see that it will help you to meditate on the verse, and meditating on this verse means meditating on the spiritual world, meditating on the pastimes of the Lord. And then the fifth stage is give your own tune, become a music director, give a tune and sing it. Navadip, did you try to give your tune, the verse? No?
Play some other tune.
I can see, everybody can see that Navadip is so busy now. How do you make out that he is very busy nowadays? He doesn't even have the time to show.
I'm lazy.
Huh?
Not that I don't have time, but I'm a little lazy with this.
Okay, then become non-lazy and shave every day. Okay? Remember, I gave you a razor.
Yes.
Don't say that you ran out of blades.
Actually, my suitcase was stolen in station with somebody pick it up.
Okay. So, in that personal abode of the Lord, the material modes of ignorance and passion do not prevail, nor is there any of their influence in goodness. Why it has been said, any of their influence in goodness? Who can tell? Any of their influence, their means? Okay, Krishna Arjun?
Because in the spiritual world, there is pure goodness that is prevailing, unlike material world, which is changed. Here, Sattvam is changed like this.
Yeah. So, their influence, nor is there any of their influence in goodness. That means, in the goodness there is no influence of passion and ignorance. Material goodness is influenced by the passion and ignorance of the material nature. So then you can see what are the three modes of material nature like? The three modes of material nature are ignorance, passion, And goodness that is influenced by passion. Whereas in the spiritual sky, it is just pure goodness. Pure goodness. तुम अंग्रेजी समझते हो? अंग्रेजी समझते हो तुम?
थोड़ी हो गया।
थोड़ी हो गया। पढ़ाई कितना तक की? कितना तक पढ़ाई की?
10 मिनट।
10 मिनट। हिंदी ट्रांसलेशन? वो चिरंजीवी। ओके ठीक है अंग्रेजी में सुनो। 10th क्लास तक पढ़ाई किया तो समझ
आता है थोड़ा।
Very good. So the material nature is the nature where these two modes, passion and ignorance, ignorance and passion, are prevailing. And whatever goodness is there in the material nature is actually influenced by passion. Whereas in the spiritual sky, the goodness is pure. Spiritual sky is in pure goodness, and there is no room for passion. There is no tinge of passion and ignorance. And there is no influence of time. Time, Kala Vikrama. Kala, the time is very powerful. Actually, in the material nature, everything is controlled by time. That is one of the most powerful instruments of Maya. That is actually, time actually is the Lord's own manifestation. It is in the form of time that the Lord controls this material nature. Kala. In Bhagavad Gita, what did Krishna say? Kala Ashmi Lokakshaya Pravrita. That I am time, and in the form of time, I am the destroyer. I destroy. So that expansion of the Lord in the form of time again is further manifest in the form of Mahakal. We are sitting in the place of Mahakaleshwar. Lord Shiva in the form of time. He is the destroyer. He is destroying everything in the form of time. So, but in the spiritual sky, time cannot end. In the spiritual world, there is no room for time. Time cannot enter. And that's why it's saying, so even time cannot enter. So what to speak of? External illusory energy. And there, both the demigods and demons worship the Lord as devotees, meaning there everyone is a devotee. Even though sometimes someone may appear to be like a demon, but they're also devotees. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. This verse has a very long purport. Let's see. The kingdom of God, or the atmosphere of the Vaikuntha nature, which is called the Tripad Vibhuti, is 3 times bigger than the material universe and is described here as also in the Bhagavad Gita in a nutshell. This universe, containing billions of stars and planets, is one of the billions of such universes clustered together within the compass of the Mahatattva. And all these millions and billions of universes combined together constitute only 1/4 of the magnitude of the whole creation of the Lord. There is the spiritual sky also. Beyond the sky are the spiritual planets under the names of Vaikuntha, and all of them constitute 3/4 of the entire creation of the Lord. God's creations are always innumerable. Even the leaves of a tree cannot be counted by man, nor can the hairs on his head. However, foolish men are puffed up with the idea of becoming God himself, though unable to create a hair of their own bodies. Man may discover so many wonderful vehicles of journey, but even if he reaches the moon by his much advertised spacecraft, he cannot remain there. The same man, therefore, without being puffed up, as if he were the God of the universe, abides by the instructions of the Vedic literature, the easiest way to acquire knowledge in transcendence. So let us know, through the authority of Srimad Bhagavatam, of the nature and constitution of the transcendental world beyond the material sky. In that sky, the material qualities, especially the modes of ignorance and passion, are completely absent. The mode of ignorance influences a living entity to the habit of lust and hankering. And this means that in the Vaikuntha Lokas, the living entities are free from these two things. As confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, in the Brahma-bhuta stage of life, one becomes free from hankering and lamentation. Therefore, the conclusion is that the inhabitants of the Vaikuntha planets are all Brahma-bhuta living entities, as distinguished from the mundane creatures who are all compact in hankering and lamentation. When one is not in the modes of ignorance and passion, one is supposed to be situated in the mode of goodness in the material world. Goodness in the material world also at times becomes contaminated by touches of the modes of passion and ignorance. In the Vaikuntha Loka, it is unalloyed goodness only. The whole situation there is one of freedom from the illusory manifestation of the external energy. Although illusory energy is also part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, illusory energy is differentiated from the Lord. The illusory energy is not, however, false, as claimed by the monist philosophers. The rope accepted as a snake may be an illusion to a particular person, but the rope is a fact, and the snake is also a fact. The illusion of water on the hot desert may be illusion for the ignorant animal searching for water in the desert, but the desert and water are actually facts. Therefore, the material creation of the Lord may be an illusion to the non-devotee, but to a devotee, even the material creation of the Lord is a fact, as the manifestation of his external energy. But this energy of the Lord is not at all, but this energy of the Lord is not all. The Lord has his internal energy also, which is another creation known to be the Vaikuntha Lokas, where there is no ignorance, no passion, no illusion, and no past and present. With a poor fund of knowledge, one may be unable to understand the existence of such things as the Vaikuntha atmosphere, but that does not nullify its existence. That spacecraft cannot reach these planets does not mean that there are no such planets, for they are described in the revealed scriptures. That spacecraft cannot reach these planets does not mean that there are no such planets, for they are described in the revealed scriptures. Okay, I'll just discuss up to here now. So, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is pointing out that the material nature is there and the spiritual nature. The material nature is vast. Prabhupada is pointing out that each universe has millions, billions of planets. And there are millions of universes, billions of universes. Each universe is inconceivable. We are just situated in one planet, the Earth planet. But there are so many planets in each universe. And there are innumerable universes. That is material nature. But this material nature is the Lord's Ekpad Vibhuti, 1/4 of His creation. And the 3/4 of His creation is the spiritual sky. So that is how inconceivable His energy is. Each universe is inconceivable. And there are innumerable universes. Innumerable universes. We can consider the universe like the material universe. What is a universe actually? What is the material universe? How it came about?
Bubble.
Who knows? Yes, Madhu?
From Mahavishnu, when Mahavishnu lies on Karanadakshay ocean, then lots of bubbles from his whole body comes out. When he breathes, and each bubble is a universe.
As Mahavishnu breathes, lying in causal motion, his breathing causes bubbles. And he is breathing not only from his mouth, but he is also breathing from every pore of his body. And each of those bubbles also are, each of the bubbles is an universe. One universe is one bubble from Mahavishnu's, created by Mahavishnu's breathing. Now Mahavishnu is breathing from every pore of his body. Now is Mahavishnu's body limited? So is the pores in Mahavishnu's body limited? So from every pore he is breathing. The universes created by Mahavishnu's breathing, are they limited? So in this way we can see even the material nature is unlimited. But when you look at it from another point of view, another perspective, then probably we will see that entire material creation is 1/4 of the Lord's creation. Scripture describes that. That's how we know. We don't have to, we have one advantage. The followers of the Vedic scriptures have one great advantage. And that advantage is that we don't have to research. We just get the information ready-made. And we just accept that. And that is how we know, we get to know. But those who make research, But those who are materialistically inclined, they always want to find out themselves. With telescopes, periscopes, microscopes, stethoscopes, they're always trying to find out the cause. Why something happened? Why something? And if it doesn't fit into their limited perception, they don't want to accept. They're so unfortunate. They're simply creating troubles for themselves. As it is, there is no lot of trouble in this material nature. And they just want to increase their trouble. I have to find out. So they have a telescope. And so only whatever I can see with my telescope, with my little toy, that fits into my imperfect eyes. If I can see it, it exists. If it doesn't, if I don't see it, it doesn't exist. Is it intelligent to accept something in an easy way, or is it intelligent to accept something in a difficult way? What will an intelligent man do? Will an intelligent man try to hold his ear in this way or this way? What will an intelligent man do? If you see that someone is trying to hold his ear in this way, going around his head, will anybody think that he's intelligent? No. So the so-called scientists of today's world, what are they?
Not very intelligent.
Jagannath Panditji put it very mildly. Not very intelligent. And what would be a straightforward and simple way of saying it? It's stupid. Okay. Jayesh is reminding us that Prabhupada actually went to the extent of even calling them rascals. They're not only stupid, they're rascals. They're cheaters. They don't know anything, but they claim that I know it. And that's the next point Prabhupada is making. That they don't know anything, but they claim. Like the Prabhupada is pointing out that they can't even count the number of leaves in a tree. They can't even count the number of hairs in their own head. What to speak of measuring the universe? But they say, oh, I'm God. I'm God. There is no God, but I'm God. That is their claim. In one hand, they say that there is no God, and then there is I am God. So, that is the unfortunate state of affairs. So, this is the unfortunate condition. But those who have been able to overcome that unfortunate situation, they are fortunate. And what will the fortunate people do? They will collect the information from the authoritative scriptures. And their assessment and their calculation will be also very sound. Their assessment of why are they accepting this? They will consider all the intelligent people have accepted. People those who are much more intelligent than I am, they have accepted. Like for our case, at least I can tell for myself. I saw that Prabhupada is the most intelligent person in the ever come. Far more intelligent than any professor that came across in the college. But Prabhupada accepted the scriptures. So that is how we begin. Then we also get to know personalities like Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. What a brilliant personality. Bhakti Vinod Thakur. We can see their brilliance, although we haven't met them, but we can see their brilliance from their writing. What a brilliant personality. What a profound perception. What an eloquent presentation. I mean, far more superior than I could ever even think of becoming myself. Can ever dream of becoming myself, and that personality accepted the scriptures. Then we can go further. Raghunath Das Goswami, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead came, acting as a devotee, and he accepted this Srimad Bhagavatam. And on the authority of the Srimad Bhagavatam, he spoke. God Himself comes and speaks on the authority of Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. So why shouldn't I? So that is the intelligence. And another proof is that once we start reading Srimad Bhagavatam, it starts to make sense. It starts to make sense. We can see, yes, whatever Bhagavatam is saying is true. The body is matter, the consciousness is not a nature, not in matter. So where did my consciousness come from? I am conscious. Where is my consciousness coming from? Where is my consciousness coming from? Where is my consciousness coming from? This doesn't have consciousness. This doesn't have consciousness. But how come this has consciousness? So we begin to think. Here in Bhagavatam says there is a soul. Bhagavad Gita is saying there is a soul. And Bhagavad Gita is elaborately describing the nature of the soul, and yes, we see, it makes sense. Dehi nashmin yatha dehi komaram yogaram. This body changed from childhood to boyhood, to youth, to old age. The body is changing. But did I change since my childhood, since my consciousness dawned? Did I change? Am I not the same person? My body changed, but I am the same person. So who I am? Am I this body or am I something else? So if I am something else, let me try to find out who that person is, who that is. Where did I come from? Where did I come from? What is the cause of it? What is the source of this consciousness? And what should I do with my consciousness? What should I do to make my existence meaningful, successful? So this is how we get the proof. And the proof reconfirms our faith. And so then we are getting the description. Who is speaking? Lord Brahma. The most intelligent person in the universe. Who is the creator of this universe. He is speaking. And he is saying that beyond this material nature there is a spiritual nature. And the Supreme Personality of Godhead is present there. He is present in the spiritual world. And everything there is controlled by Him. And not that He is controlling with a stick, but there He is controlling everything by His internal energy which is predominantly love. He is controlling everything with love. And everyone is there, everyone there is in love with him, and he is in love with everyone. What a wonderful situation. Everybody loves him and he loves everyone. And then you begin to wonder, he loves me also. If he loves everybody, and since I am somebody, he must be loving me also. So now let me also try to develop my love for him. And then when I develop my love for him, then what happens? I find myself also in the spiritual state. Material world is the place where living entities don't want to love him. And spiritual sky is the place where everybody loves him. So if I want to go to spiritual world, then what I should do? Just love him. As simple as that. And we know by nature, everybody wants to love somebody. There are so many songs with that word. I want to love somebody. So who is that somebody? Who should we love? Krishna. So when you develop a love for him, then our life becomes so full of meaning. Our existence becomes so full of joy. Okay, then I'll go to the last part of the last two stanzas of the two paragraphs of the purport. As quoted by Srila Jiva Goswami, we can know from the Narada Pancharatra that the transcendental world or Vaikuntha atmosphere is enriched with transcendental qualities. These transcendental qualities, as revealed through the devotional service of the Lord, are distinct from the mundane qualities of ignorance, passion, and goodness. Such qualities are not attained by the non-devotee class of men. In the Padma Puran, Uttar Khanda, it is stated that beyond the 1/4 part of God's creation is the 3/4 manifestation. The marginal line between the material manifestation and the spiritual manifestation is the Viraja river. The material nature and spiritual nature, spiritual sky, are separated by one river. That river is called Viraja. And beyond the Viraja, which is a transcendental current flowing from the perspiration of the body of the Lord, there is a 3/4 manifestation of God's creation. This part is eternal, everlasting, without deterioration and unlimited, and it contains the highest perfectional stage of living condition. In the Shankha Kaumadi, it is stated that unalloyed goodness or transcendence is just opposite to the material modes. All living entities there are eternally associated without any break, and the Lord is the chief and prime entity. In the Agama Purans also, the transcendental abode is described as follows. The associated members there are free to go everywhere within the creation of the Lord. And there is no limit to such creation, particularly in the region of the 3/4 magnitude. Since the nature of that region is unlimited, there is no history of such association, nor is there end of it. The conclusion may be drawn that because of the complete absence of the mundane qualities of ignorance and passion, there is no question of creation nor annihilation. In the material world, everything is created and everything is annihilated. And the duration of life between the creation and annihilation is temporary. In the transcendental realm, there is no creation and no destruction, and thus the duration of life is eternal, unlimitedly. In other words, everything in the transcendental world is everlasting, full of knowledge and bliss without deterioration. Since there is no deterioration, there is no past, present and future in the estimation of time. It is clearly stated in this verse that the influence of time is conspicuous by its absence. The whole material existence is manifested by actions and reactions of elements which make the influence of time prominent in the matter of past, present and future. There are no such actions and reactions of cause and effects there. So the cycle of birth, growth, existence, transformation, deterioration and annihilation, the six material changes, are not existent there. It is the unalloyed manifestation of the energy of the Lord, without illusion as experienced here in the material world. The whole Vaikuntha existence proclaims that everyone there is a follower of the Lord. The Lord is the chief leader there without any competition for leadership. And the people in general are all followers of the Lord. It is confirmed in the Vedas, therefore, that the Lord is the chief leader and all other living entities are subordinate to Him. For only the Lord satisfies all the needs of all other living entities. So, that is the most wonderful description of the spiritual side. Beyond this material nature, there is a Viraja river. Viraja river is separating the material nature from the spiritual sky. Viraja, it has been described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Viraja, Brahmalok, Bhedi, penetrating through Viraja, and beyond Viraja is Brahmalok, Brahmajit. There is the spiritual sky, the Vaikuntha planets. And Vaikuntha planets, the Lord is the only leader, and everyone else is his subordinate. Akole Ishwar Krishna Arushar. But in the material nature, everyone is Ishvara and everyone is trying to make everybody else his servant. That is the nature of the material. I am the Lord and Master of the universe. Lord means He wants to control, He wants to dominate, He wants to make everything else His subordinate. So that is the material. In the material nature, there are so many Ishvara. Everyone is an Ishvara. Whereas in the spiritual world, there is only one Ishvara. When there are many Ishvaras, that is material. When there is one Ishvara, that is spiritual. In the material nature, especially in democracy, we are saying, democracy means everyone is Ishvara. Democracy, in the democratic world, everybody tries to be the boss. Vox populi, people's voice. And democracy means for the people, by the people, of the people. It's for the people, this government, democratic ruling, is for the people, by the people, made by the people, of the people. And who are the people? All the big, who the boss was. Miniature bosses. Whereas the spiritual sky is very clear. Krishna is the only Lord. And why Krishna is the Lord? The last sentence Prabhupada responds. Because Krishna is satisfying the needs of everyone. Krishna is fulfilling the needs of everyone. That's why he is the leader. That's why he is God. He is the supreme creator. He is supreme maintainer. He not only created, he is also maintaining everything. In the family, why father is the boss? Because he is maintaining the family. So whoever is maintaining, he is the boss. So who is maintaining everything? Krishna. And if we understand that, what should we do? Should we deny Krishna or should we accept Krishna? A person who is providing for everything, why should we deny him? By denying him, what will we gain? Rather, by accepting him, we can gain his favor. And when we gain his favor, then he will take care of us in the most wonderful way, as he's already doing. But we have anxiety, we have fear. What will happen? What will happen? If I move to Ujjain, what will happen? If I give up my job and move to Ujjain, I won't have any source of income, what will happen? But if you ask Krishna, then what will Krishna say? Don't worry, I am maintaining you. Do you think you are maintaining yourself? So many things will happen. But Krishna is guaranteeing that all the nice things will happen. If you move to Ujjain, all kinds of wonderful things will happen. So, what I mean is that if we surrender to Krishna, then we don't have to worry about what will happen. Surrender to Krishna, everything will be wonderful. Because if you, person who is taking care of you already, if you surrender to him, then what will happen? Only nice things will happen to you. But if you become the controller yourself, then what will happen? The first thing is that you have a big headache, big anxiety, big fear. What will happen? If the terrorists come, what will happen? If Bin Laden launches his attack, what will happen? Don't worry, Krishna will protect. Krishna has protected his devotees from people much more powerful than Bin Laden or George Bush. Kamsa, Hiranyakashipu, Dantavakra, Shishupal, they are far more powerful individuals than all these people. But what happened to Krishna's devotees? Krishna gave protection. So Krishna will protect. Have this faith. Krishna will protect. You know how Krishna protects? Krishna's Sudarshan Chakra is just guarding his devotees. And if somebody tries to do something, Sudarshan Chakra actually emits fire and he will burn to ashes if somebody tries to do something. That is how Krishna. Not only Sudarshan Chakra, Vishnu Dutas are also patrolling all that. Wherever there are devotees, Vishnu Dutas are guarding. And if somebody tries to harm a devotee, the Vishnu Dutas immediately. Like, you remember what happened to Ajamil? The Jamadutas came, and just because Ajamil said Narayan, immediately Vishnu Dutas came. And they told the Jamadutas, get out of here. And Jamadutas was suffering. Who are you? And Vishnu Dutta said, that you can go and ask your boss. And they did that. They asked. When they were driven away, they went and asked Jamaraj. And Jamaraj said who they are. And Jamaraj told them that don't go near them. And whenever you see somebody chanting the holy name of the Lord, whenever you see somebody wearing Vaishnav Tila and Kantimala, Tulsi Mala, don't go near them. Offer obeisances from a distance and go away from there. So this is how the devotees are protected by the Lord. And his dutas, his Sudarshan Chakra, his associates. So that is the advantage of becoming surrendered to Krishna. That's the advantage of taking shelter of Krishna's lotus. So what will you do? Surrender to Krishna's lotus feet? Huh? Yes. Surrender to Krishna's lotus feet. Don't worry. Krishna will do it. Krishna will take care of you. And it's not my words, this is from Srimad Bhagavatam. And there are so many examples. Prahlad Maharaj was protected so much. All these people, Haridas Thakur was protected so much. Gangadas Pandit was protected so much. This is how the Lord protects his devotees. Thank you very much. Gaur Premanande. Does anybody have any question? Yes, Krishnachan.
You mentioned how intelligence is to accept the easy process.
Yeah.
So nowadays in the education system in India, it's like, you can see how stability is also.
Okay, so you said it. It's not an intelligence system. It's a stupid system. Modern education system is not an intelligence system.
So my question is,
Bhaktivinoda Thakur has pointed out, Jado Vidya Shab Mayar Boibhav, Tomar Bhajane Bhata, Moho Janamiya Aditya Samshare, Jeev Ke Gauraye Gadha. This materialistic education is simply an influence of the illusory energy. It simply causes impediment to your devotional service. And creating all kinds of illusions, it simply turns a living entity into an ass. It is as famous for his intelligence, or as is famous for. So I'm not saying that everybody should stop this education, but use it in Krishna's service. Then it's not material education. Yeah.
actually I want to ask that will that day come when in the colleges all over the world Krishna consciousness will be taught and at least the department and how and when is going to happen.
Yes. Prabhupada taught us one thing. Don't wait for somebody else to do it. You go ahead and do it. Whether one day will come when all over the world, the university will be teaching Krishna conscious education. What's the point of having such a pipe dream? Rather just consider what can you do? What am I doing? So try to educate whoever you can about this. And then maybe it will happen. And actually there is no need for such big arrangement for education. Education is, those who are interested, they can just come and study Srimad. Systematically, under the guidance of qualified teachers. Do you need a big university for studying Bhagavatam? That is their creation, that's their arrangement. That is their money-making scam. What do they learn there? Do they really learn there? I don't think they learn very much. And what they learn, they don't use. Often I think, mathematics is one subject, I hated it. But I was good at it. But when it went to higher mathematics, I couldn't relate to that. Trigonometry, calculus, I couldn't. And today I see that of all mathematics, the only thing that I am using is addition, subtraction. Even though I learned about the practical application of algebra, a simple formula like a plus b whole square is so. I can graphically see that how a plus b whole square is a square plus b square plus 2a twice ab. But in real life, I don't see how can I apply it. Did anyone apply it? That's what. Say when you multiply 13, you can do that. Like you can divide it. 13 is 10 plus 3 is 10 square plus 3 square plus twice 10 plus 3, 10 and 3, twice 10, 3. But do we actually calculate it that way? We don't. At the most you take a calculator, punch a few buttons and you get that. So this is how useless this education is. I do not know what the application of geometry is, although theoretically I know. But practically, did anybody apply this geometry? What to speak of trigonometry? I was told that by through trigonometry you can measure the Mount Everest. It has already been measured, so why should it be? So this is how useless it is. What we need to learn actually is how to love Krishna. That's what we have to learn. So this is how this whole education system, how useless this whole education system is. And Prabhupada used to very, very aptly describe that this is simply Sudra education. What this education is doing, big university, what are they doing? They're teaching you how to become a servant. Big deal. How to become a servant. And big degree means? Yeah. Big degree means? Big, lazy servant. You have a degree, You get a seat, you sit down in an office, and then you serve. You don't have a degree, you go into the street and rough it out and serve. So this degree, what they're doing is, they're just teaching you how to become a lazy servant. You don't have to do anything, others will do it for you. Why? Because you have a degree. Now the question is, then why are we encouraging our boys and girls to go and study? We're doing it because they don't have anything better to do. They have to do something. And we are sending them to the schools and colleges and universities. We are encouraging them to study. Because we are not able to engage them in the temple within our system. Therefore, we have to create the arrangement so that they can be engaged within our society. That's what we are actually trying to do, so that our children can be properly engaged in the service. Then they won't have to go to school and college. Okay, yes, Aru.
What Brahma Bhuta means? In the first part he said Brahma Bhuta level, at Brahma Bhuta level one is free from hankering and lamentation. What it means?
Brahma Bhuta means beyond this material nature is Brahma, spiritual. Right? In that spiritual, see, you are spiritual and there is a spiritual nature. So when you become situated in the spiritual nature, then you are not affected by the material modes. Prior to that, just before that, Prabhupada said, the mode of ignorance causes lust and lamentation. Right? So when you transcend the material nature, then you become free from the influence of the material modes. And in that, you don't have the influences like lust, greed, anger, illusion, envy, and pride. So that stage, you are not affected by the material nature, but you become prasanna. Because you have become what you actually are. Right? So that is the Brahma Bhuta. Brahma Bhuta means in pure spiritual situation. Spirit soul is spiritual, and this Brahma Bhuta means spiritual life, spiritual realm, spiritual domain, spiritual region, spiritual sky. So when you become situated in the spiritual sky, then na sochati na kamshati, no lamentation and no hankering. Right? But then when you go to spiritual nature, then what will you do then? When you become engaged in serving Krishna, then you transcend even this na sochati na kamshati platform, and you become ananda, you become joyful. Right? Okay, thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Go, Srimad.